about overthinking and my overthinking journey, how it has been, and how I coped up with all the side effects of overthinking, what causes overthinking, what overthinking is, and stuff. So, let's just get started. So, when I used to be in my um, lowest point in my life, like in my 11th and 12th grade, basically I understood that I overthink a lot. I did not know that I used to be an overthinker and that I used to overthink a lot and be like consciously in a spiral, keep on thinking about stuff. And 11th and 12th grade made me really catch that bad habit of mine and understand that overthinking is actually one of my issues and that I have to take care of it really well. So, what really happened was because of the drastic shift, I couldn't really catch up with my studies, and that made me feel really bad about myself. And I kept on overthinking about myself, and I kept self sabotaging myself. I was like, "You're not good enough, you do not study properly, you do not um, show up the way you have to show up, you don't really talk to people properly, you don't do this, you don't do that." I kept judging myself like a lot. So that became a really big issue of mine. And what really happened was that when I kept telling that to myself, I started believing it. I started thinking that I am a low grade student, that I don't really score well, that I cannot score well, and I cannot do that. I started believing it, and that really led to drastic situations where I was completely depressed. I was completely not aligned with myself. I was totally off. I did not like talking to people at all. I felt uh, very bored and I did not want to do anything at all. I really did not like working and I really did not like studying. I did not like the things I used to like before. But the main thing I observed after kind of coping up with it, revisiting those beliefs a little bit, not completely going back into the situation and dwelling in the past, because that is going to trigger all those emotions again. I just visited it at times from wherever I was in the present. I made sure that I was grounded, and then I visited in the past to really see what was going on. And then I understood that I tried to think my self out of basically I tried to think myself out of the problems I had. Let's say the problem was that I cannot score properly, and I kept on thinking. I felt that if I kept on thinking about it, if I kept that thought of I'm not good enough or I'm not scoring well in my mind, maybe that is going to really push the problem away, vanish the problem, or the problem is going to disappear or something like that. I felt that keeping that thought alive in my mind is somehow going to bring the solution, or I'm going to somehow skip that portion of my life, or I'm going to somehow solve the problem without me actually being there, without me actually taking responsibility, and I'll just be done with the problem. The problem will be solved and it will be vanished. So basically, I feel that whenever we overthink, it is because we believe that we can think ourselves out of the problems that we have. So let's say you have a problem, or you have this insecurity, or that you are not slim, let's say, and you have, because I also have this insecurity of not being slim. So you feel that maybe if I keep thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm not slim, oh my gosh, I'm not slim, oh my gosh, I'm not slim, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? Or I keep eating too much, I keep sleeping on my bed, I keep doing this, I'm not losing weight, what do I do, what do I do? If you believe that if you keep your brain busy with such thoughts, you will it just feels somehow productive to you. Okay, rather than having a proper diet, rather than really working out, and rather than telling yourself that you will be slim one day, but you have to accept your body right now and love yourself for who you are right now. And when you stick with your habits, when you show up like the future version of yourself. You will ultimately become that one day, but you have to accept who you are right now. So that is all productive work that is going to lead you to becoming the slim version of yourself. But then what you are doing right now is that you don't want to do all that work, and you just are like thinking so that you just feel like you're productive. So basically you are making sure that your brain feels productive, you're making sure that your mind feels productive, but you're not actually productive. You're not actually solving the problem. Why? Because you're scared to take responsibility, because you're scared to actually show up, because you're scared to actually become the version you want to be. So this is what overthinking has it does. To be honest, there is this system applies to every overthinking spiral that you ever had. Okay, just think about it from a third eye view. Don't really sit in the spiral and think about it. So when you're in the spiral, you're not going to be like, oh my god, I'm trying to keep myself productive now, what do I do? Because that is going to again trigger overthinking. So you have to build overthinking mechanisms. You have to build what you say systems so that you can stop overthinking at that point of time when you're actually in the spiral, but also catch yourself before you get into the spiral. So for that you have to really visit your previous spirals from, if it is healthy, again if it is really healthy, you're going to analyze yourself so much to make sure that it's healthy, and you're going to revisit the spirals, and you're going to find what your thinking pattern is, what really triggers you, and how you actually overthink. To be honest, I overthink a lot. Even now, actually, I overthink a lot during the day, and I do not overthink when I'm all by myself. Maybe I do at times. Yeah, I do overthink. So basically, I overthink always. So, what my overthinking pattern is that I start questioning myself. I start judging myself. I start evaluating myself. So I'm a very independent person, and I would like to learn lots of stuff and learn everything that is possible. And it is also, it comes with its bad negative point that I cannot have coaches for every single thing that I want to learn. I cannot have people who can evaluate me, who can judge my level of learning, who can help me improve. I cannot have people for everything that I want to learn. So I tend to become my guide. I tend to become my coach, and tend to self learn everything. So when you do that, you have to kind of become the judge for yourself. You have to become your own coach. You have to view yourself from a third person's point of view and really analyze what you are doing. And I do that, and that's actually a really good point. But I tend to stay in that state throughout my day, throughout my life. Okay, I tend to evaluate myself. I tend to judge myself. I tend to be like, what can I improve? What can I do more? What better can I do? How can this work can become a better version of itself and stuff? And when you tend to do that, you tend to forget that you have to be in the present moment, and that whatever you are doing right now is actually good enough. And because of that, and because I stay in that state, I keep judging myself. I'm like, am I good enough right now? Does my outfit look good? Do I look presentable? Am I prepared enough? Am I confident enough? And I do not actually show up confident because I tend to judge myself. So let's say if I'm dancing, I'm like, am I moving my body enough? Is the wave actually really like a wave? But I tend to forget that dancing is something that I really love. Dancing is something that makes me feel amazing, feel childlike, and I forget to enjoy the waves that I'm making. Rather than I start evaluating the waves that I'm making. So that is my overthinking pattern. And now whenever I do that, immediately I'm like, am I good enough? Is not, if well, let's say my outfit okay? I start counter questions. I start like, do I feel okay? Okay, do I look good enough to others? Doesn't matter to me. Do I feel okay? If I feel okay, that is all that matters. And if the is the wave okay, am I really enjoying the wave? Am I really enjoying the choreography? Am I really enjoying the dance? And if I am, that's all matters. Okay, the evaluation, the progress, and the learning can come later, can come later on when you're actually revisiting the video that you're recording, something like that. Okay, so counter statements to whatever I'm going. And another thing about overthinking is that it is also a skill that you have to learn. Just like anything else in your life, overthinking and dealing overthinking is a skill that you have to learn. Once the first step to a skill is that catching yourself whenever you're overthinking and pulling yourself back to the present. Okay, that is one skill. Another skill is that when you catch yourself overthinking, when you're actually in a spiral and you cannot get out of the spiral, you build another mechanism to get out of the spiral. As in, like, you just shut everything out and watch a video, or shut everything out and just sit with yourself with some coffee, if that helps you. But mostly it doesn't help me because I start thinking again. So I just go watch some series. And but if you're a people person, just go talk to somebody and just tell them that I'm actually overthinking. Just talk to me whatever you can, just blabber some stuff, and I just want to come back to the present and focus on something. So help me focus. Go tell them that. So yeah, it is also a skill that you have to tackle. And another thing is that overthinking is usually a friend of insecurity. So if you have insecurities, you tend to overthink, but you tend to overthink when you neglect your insecurities. When you push away your insecurities and when you try to block your insecurities, you do not actually address your insecurities. You're afraid of addressing your insecurities. They show up as overthinking. Okay, so if you, let's say I'm actually insecure about my body, and I do not want to think about it, I restrict that thought, I restrict that insecurity, I do not admit that I have that insecurity, then the insecurity shows up in your thoughts. During the day when you're wearing your clothes, you're like, oh my god, this is not fitting, why is it not fitting, oh gosh, it's not fitting. That thought stays with you throughout the day, and the next moment you have another thought. So it's like your thoughts compile, and when your thoughts compile, it starts a spiral. So yes, do address your insecurities, do look at your insecurities and accept that you have insecurities. And make sure, among all of this noise, all of this chaotic energy that you have, this overthinking, these insecurities, these shortcomings, these flaws, the constant strive to be perfect, be good enough, be the best version of yourself, all of this will always be there. But always remember, the baseline to everything, the baseline to becoming the best version of yourself, the baseline to grow, to progress, to become successful, to become abundant, the baseline to everything starts with love. Starts with love towards yourself, love towards everything that you have in your life already, love towards just the world around you. Okay, so be compassionate towards yourself, be kind to yourself, and just love yourself as much as possible. No matter how you feel about yourself, how awful you feel, or how you criticize yourself every day, it doesn't matter. One line of I love you, Bhavika, or I love you, your name, that thought in your mind, that thought in your heart is all that matters. It will do magic to you once you start that one thought. So just start with being compassionate towards yourself, being kind to yourself. So whenever you feel like you're spiraling, don't criticize yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm spiraling again. Why am I spiraling? I should stop spiraling. No, don't do that. Just tell yourself, okay, I am spiraling right now. It's okay to spiral. It's okay to overthink. It's okay to, you know, be in this chaotic state. All I need to do right now is come back to present, is to focus on my breathing, and is to love myself a little bit more. Okay, I love myself. No matter how imperfect I feel, no matter how awful I feel, no matter how much I'm criticizing myself, there is always this part of me that loves myself unconditionally. You're gonna tell this to yourself. And just tell it, just keep affirming it, even though you don't believe it, just keep affirming it to yourself. And one fine day, you will start loving yourself. You will start saying it to yourself like you mean it from the bottom of your heart. So, yes, overthinking is not a very huge enemy that you have to tackle, but just something very small, something very tiny inside yourself that actually seeks attention, that actually wants to be seen and addressed and be taken care of and to be loved. So please give it the attention, please give it the care that it needs, and love yourself. Take care of yourself and pamper yourself like your mother would do when you were a little kid, because you have to do that for yourself, because nobody else will if you don't. So love yourself like nobody else in the world can ever love you, because that is actually true. You are the one who loves yourself most, ever. So no matter who enters your life, you are going to be the person who is going to love you the most. So yes, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot from my experiences, my mistakes, and hope you tackle your overthinking if you have it. But if you don't, thank you for staying until the very end and listening to me. I'm glad that you don't have overthinking, and that's a really good gift that you have. Please do cherish it. And until we meet next time, bye bye. I love you.